5 Power Platform Low-Code Solutions for SMBs. Hi there. Today we'll talk about 5 Power Platform Low-Code Solutions for SMBs. We'll cover everything you need to know about Power Platform Low-Code Solutions for SMBs. So, let's get started. What is Microsoft Power Platform and why should SMBs care? Microsoft Power Platform for Small Businesses is a suite of 5 interconnected tools built on Microsoft Azure, Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI, Power Pages, and Copilot Studio. Each tool targets a different part of how businesses operate, from building internal apps to analyzing sales data to handling customer queries. The key advantage for SMBs is the low entry barrier. You don't need to understand APIs, write backend logic, or manage cloud infrastructure to get value from the platform. Power Platform handles that complexity through a visual, drag-and-drop interface. According to Microsoft's Power Platform documentation, the platform has millions of monthly active users, the majority of whom are business users rather than professional developers. For SMBs, the business case is straightforward. Custom software development typically runs $50,000 to $200,000 for a production-ready application. A Power Apps solution solving the same problem can often be built and deployed in days for a fraction of that cost. If you're already on Microsoft Azure, the integration story gets even stronger. Power Platform services connect directly to Azure SQL, Blob Storage, and Microsoft Entra ID without custom middleware or additional development overhead. Solution 1: Power Apps build custom business apps without writing code. Power Apps is Microsoft's low-code app builder. It lets you create canvas apps, fully custom layouts, or model-driven apps, structured around your data schema, that run in a browser, on iOS, or on Android. Canvas apps versus model-driven apps. A canvas app gives you a blank slate. You design the screens, choose where data goes, and control exactly how the app looks. It's the right choice when user experience matters or when you're building something that doesn't fit a standard data entry pattern. A model-driven app generates its interface automatically from your data structure in Dataverse. It's faster to build and requires less design work, but you give up some control over layout. For internal tools like employee directories, case management systems, or approval queues, model-driven apps often ship 50% faster than Canvas apps. Getting started with Power Apps. Here's a typical SMB use case. A field services company needed technicians to submit job completion reports from their phones. Instead of emailing photos and filling out paper forms that were manually entered later, they built a Power Apps Canvas app in under a week. It connects to SharePoint for storage, sends confirmations via Power Automate, and feeds data into a Power BI dashboard for management review. Common Power Apps use cases for SMBs include equipment inspection checklists for field teams, customer intake and onboarding forms, employee expense submission and approval workflows, inventory tracking for small warehouses, internal help desk request management. Microsoft's Power Apps documentation includes guided tutorials that walk non-technical users through building their first app in about 2 hours, which is a reasonable benchmark for what to expect when you're starting out. Solution 2: Power Automate eliminate repetitive manual workflows. Power Automate is the automation engine inside Power Platform. It replaces the kind of manual work that eats hours every week, copying data between systems, sending follow-up emails, routing approvals, and updating spreadsheets across multiple tools. Power Automate uses a flow-based model. You define a trigger, something that starts the automation, and a sequence of actions. There are over 1,000 pre-built connectors covering tools like Salesforce, QuickBooks, Gmail, Slack, and the full Microsoft 365 suite. For SMBs, the promise of automating business workflows with Power Automate with no coding required is genuinely achievable. A common starting point is approval automation. When a purchase order is submitted in SharePoint, Power Automate sends it to the manager via Teams, updates the status in a list, and notifies the vendor, all without manual intervention. Workflow types available in Power Automate. Automated flows, triggered by an event such as a new email, form submission, or database record. Scheduled flows, run on a timer for daily reports, weekly data syncs, or recurring tasks. Instant flows, triggered manually with a button press, useful for one-click processes. Desktop flows, automate legacy desktop applications using robotic process automation, RPA. The desktop flow capability is particularly useful for SMBs dealing with older software that doesn't have a modern API. Power Automate Desktop can interact with legacy accounting systems, government portals, and older web applications by simulating clicks and keystrokes. For SMBs looking to go further with workflow automation, our post on how to automate SMB compliance using Azure Logic Apps covers the enterprise-grade automation layer that integrates with Power Automate for more complex compliance scenarios. Solution 3, Power BI, transform raw data into business decisions. Power BI is Microsoft's business intelligence tool. For SMBs running on spreadsheets and Intuition, it's often the single highest impact part of the platform to adopt first. It connects to dozens of data sources, from Excel files to Azure SQL databases to live external APIs, and generates interactive dashboards that refresh automatically on a schedule you define. A Power BI dashboard can pull together sales data from your CRM, expense data from QuickBooks, and web analytics into one view that any team member can explore without asking IT for a report. Non-technical users can build basic dashboards using Power BI Desktop without writing DAX formulas or understanding data modeling. For more structured output, Power BI Report Builder handles formatted, printable reports useful for accounting and compliance purposes. We've covered Power BI in depth on this site. If you want to go deeper on practical SMB configurations, our guide on Power BI for SMBs, Turning Raw Data into Insights, covers the specific dashboard setups that work well for small business operations teams. Solution 4, Power Pages, launch customer portals without a web developer. Power Pages, formerly Power Apps portals, lets SMBs build external-facing websites and customer portals that connect directly to their business data. Think, a client login portal where customers check order status, submit support tickets, or update account information, all built without a custom web development project. This is one of the less discussed Power Platform tools but often the most impactful for service-based businesses. A consultancy can give clients a portal to access project timelines and deliverables. A logistics company can let customers track shipments. A healthcare practice can enable patients to submit intake forms before their appointment. What makes Power Pages worth considering for SMBs? Visual Studio with templates for common portal types. Dataverse integration means the portal writes directly to your business data. Built-in authentication supports Microsoft Entra ID, LinkedIn, Google, and local accounts. Responsive design by default so portals work on mobile without extra configuration. Security roles control exactly what each user can see and edit. The main limitation is design flexibility. Power Pages templates are solid but not as customizable as a purpose-built web application. For SMBs with straightforward portal requirements, that trade-off is usually acceptable. For businesses needing highly specific UX, a hybrid approach using Power Pages for data logic and custom CSS for front-end styling often works well. Solution 5, Copilot Studio AI chatbots that handle customer queries 24/7. Copilot Studio, formerly Power Virtual Agents, lets you build AI-powered chatbots without writing code. For SMBs, the most common applications are customer support bots, lead qualification assistants, and internal IT helpdesk bots. What sets Copilot Studio apart from basic chatbot tools is its integration with Microsoft's AI infrastructure. You can connect it to Azure OpenAI to give the bot generative AI capabilities, meaning it answers freeform questions drawn from your knowledge base rather than just following a fixed decision tree. A practical example, a software company used Copilot Studio to build a support bot connected to their documentation site. When customers ask questions, the bot uses Azure OpenAI to pull relevant answers and respond in natural language. The bot handles roughly 60% of Tier 1 support queries automatically, freeing the team to focus on complex issues. For SMBs exploring AI automation more broadly, our post on how AI agents automate business processes for SMBs covers adjacent approaches that complement what Copilot Studio offers out of the box. Power Platform pricing for small businesses in 2026. Microsoft Power Platform pricing for small businesses in 2026 operates on a per-user, per-month model with entry points that vary by product and usage volume. Product per user plan notes Power Apps $20/user/month Canvas and model-driven apps included Power Automate $15/user/month Cloud and Desktop Flows Power BI Pro $10/user/month included in Microsoft 365 E5 Power Pages $200/website/month External Authenticated Users Copilot Studio $200 per month. Includes 25,000 sessions if your team is already on Microsoft 365 Business Premium or E3/E5. you may have seeded licenses for Power Apps and Power Automate included at reduced capacity. Power BI Pro is bundled with Microsoft 365 E5, and a free Power BI tier covers basic personal use. For most SMBs starting out, the Power Apps Premium plan at $20/user/month plus Power Automate at $15/user/month covers the core use cases at $35/user/month total. Compare that to maintaining a custom application, which includes developer time, hosting fees, security updates, and ongoing feature work. For context on how Power Platform licensing fits into your broader Microsoft Azure spend, our post on 7 proven Azure cost optimization tips for SMBs includes strategies for managing software licensing costs alongside infrastructure expenses. How Power Platform low-code solutions connect with Microsoft Azure. One of the strongest arguments for choosing Power Platform over competing low-code tools is its native connection to Microsoft Azure. Power Platform runs on Azure infrastructure, and the integration goes deeper than simply sharing a cloud provider. Key Azure services that work with Power Platform: Azure SQL Database, connect Power Apps and Power BI directly to structured business data stored in Azure SQL, with no custom API layer required. Azure Blob Storage, store and retrieve documents, images, and files from Power Apps without building a custom storage solution from scratch. Microsoft Entra ID, manage user authentication and role-based access control across all Power Platform tools from a single identity service. Azure API Management, expose custom APIs to Power Platform so Power Apps can call business logic running in Azure Functions or Azure App Service. Azure OpenAI, power Copilot Studio's generative AI responses and extend Power Automate with AI builder models trained on your own business data. This integration matters most when SMBs outgrow built-in Power Platform connectors and need to connect to custom Azure-hosted services. The path from a pure low-code Power Apps solution to a hybrid solution, Power Apps front-end, custom Azure back-end, is straightforward, which means you don't have to abandon your investment in Power Platform as your requirements grow. For teams considering a hybrid approach, our guide on how to build AI agents for SMB automation on Azure shows how custom Azure services and Power Platform tools can work side by side effectively. According to Gartner's analysis of enterprise low-code platforms, Microsoft is consistently positioned as a leader, with cloud platform integration and enterprise readiness cited as key differentiators over standalone low-code tools. When to use Power Platform versus hiring a developer for your SMB? This is the question most SMB founders ask, and the honest answer is, it depends on your use case, your team's capacity to learn, and your timeline. Power Platform makes sense when the problem is well defined. A form, a workflow, a dashboard, or a chatbot speed matters more than a polished, pixel-perfect UI. Your data lives in Microsoft 365 or connectors already exist for your tools. Someone on the team can invest 20 to 40 hours learning. The platform budget is constrained and $35/user/month beats a $150,000 development project. Hiring a developer makes more sense when you need a mobile app with complex offline functionality or native device features. The product is customer-facing with strict branding and performance requirements. The business logic is too complex for low-code formulas and conditional expressions. You need custom integrations with systems Power Platform doesn't support. While you're building something that needs to scale to thousands of concurrent users, many SMBs use both approaches in parallel: Power Platform for internal operations tools and hired developers for customer-facing products. Internal tools get shipped quickly and cheaply, while the customer-facing product gets the attention it needs. That split is often where the best return on investment comes from. If you decide to bring in external development talent, our post on hiring a remote .NET developer, an essential SMB guide, covers how to evaluate candidates and structure engagements without the most common hiring mistakes. Conclusion: Power Platform low-code solutions for SMBs offer a practical path to digital transformation without a six-figure development budget or a months-long timeline. The 5 solutions covered here, Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI, Power Pages, and Copilot Studio, each solve specific operational problems that most small businesses deal with every week. The best starting point is wherever you feel the most friction. If manual data entry is slowing the team down, start with Power Automate. If you need a custom internal tool but don't have a developer, start with Power Apps. If your decisions are based on instinct rather than data, start with Power BI. Microsoft's Power Platform is not a replacement for every kind of software project, but for a large category of SMB problems, it's genuinely the right tool for the job. Pick one use case, prove the value internally, and build from there. That's how most successful Power Platform deployments start, and it's the approach that consistently delivers results for growing businesses.